Chapter number 5, The Law of E.F. Hutton. When the real leader speaks, people listen. Samuel is our biblical character that best illustrates this law. Once you learn the Law of E.F. Hutton, you'll never have trouble figuring out who the real leader is in just about any situation. Go to a meeting with a group of people you've never met before and watch them for 5 minutes. When somebody asks a question, whom do the people watch for the answer? Whom do they wait to hear? The person they look to is the real leader. You see, people listen to what someone has to say, not necessarily because of the truth being communicated in the message, but because of their respect for the speaker. When Martin Luther King, Jr. was alive, no matter where or when he spoke, people listened, despite their background or heritage. Today, Billy Graham gets a similar kind of respect because of his unquestionable integrity and lifetime of service. The truth is that when it comes to identifying a real leader, the proof is found in the followers, because when the real leader speaks, people listen. Like Billy Graham and Martin Luther King, Samuel didn't start life as an E.F. Hutton. His ability to speak into the lives of others grew and developed over the course of time, but he did start unusually early. People began listening to him when he was just a boy. As a very young child, he was placed in the care of Eli, the high priest and judge of Israel. The first record we have of his speaking as an E.F. Hutton occurred when Samuel told Eli of a prophecy that he had received from God concerning the older priest family. As young Samuel grew, his authority increased. 1 Samuel chapter 3, verse 19 tells us, Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and let none of his words fall to the ground. Samuel's level of influence with the people continued to increase through his lifetime. As a prophet, he was respected because he spoke for God. And eventually, Samuel also became Israel's judge, a position similar to that of a king. He was the nation's civil and military leader. That put Samuel in a truly unique position. Before Christ, Samuel was the only person in Israel's history who functioned as a prophet, priest, and king. No wonder people listened to him and followed his leadership. Because Samuel occupied such well-established offices, you may be tempted to think that people listened to him only because of his position. But his leadership wasn't positional, despite his impressive titles. You can be sure of that by considering the events that followed the one time the Israelites didn't listen to him when they asked him for a king. God gave Samuel the authority to anoint a king for Israel, and in obedience to God, Samuel placed Saul on the throne, thus replacing himself as civil and military leader. But even when Samuel didn't sit on the throne, the people still listened to him and recognized his voice as that of the leader. When he spoke, everyone listened, lay people and prophets, leaders and followers, peasants and kings. He was the greatest influencer of his generation. And when he died, 1 Samuel 25:1 says, the people lamented. They knew that they had lost a true leader and a great man of God. When you consider the life of Samuel, two things come shining through: character and competence. He lived according to his values and practiced solid leadership without wavering, and the people listened to him as a result. The fact is, you will never find a disparity between the words and the actions of a true E.F. Hutton. Great leaders have integrity, and anyone who displays inconsistency of character will not remain a voice of influence in the lives of others. If you desire to be an E.F. Hutton, first check your motives to be sure they aren't driven by ego or by the desire for personal gain. Then recognize the following must happen for your message to have credibility. Number 1, you must live your message first. The effectiveness of any message depends more on the character of the messenger than on the content of the message. People listened to Samuel because he demonstrated with his life everything he asked others to do. Number 2, you must be more than a messenger. For anything you say to really connect with others, the message must contain a piece of you. You can't deliver something you haven't given your heart to. As a prophet, Samuel was a messenger of God. But he was much more than that. Like David, Samuel truly had a heart for God. God's desires became his desires. As you speak to people, do it with passion. The conviction of your message must be apparent in your words and in your life. Number 3, your message must be more than a message. One reason that people listen to an E.F. Hutton is that his or her words carry a message that has the potential to change lives. They're not merely communication that perpetuates the status quo. Samuel's words frequently carried that kind of weight. His message often had the potential to change the life of every person listening to his voice. It also contained truths that could have changed the course of the nation's history. Unfortunately, although the people listened to Samuel's message, they didn't possess the character to obey it in the long run. Number 4, you must have a stake in the outcome. People can tell the difference between a leader who is a spectator on the sideline and one who is a participant in the game. They have great respect for someone who has a stake in the outcome of his message. A good leader may send his people into battle, but a great leader leads them there, and the people respect him for putting himself on the line with them. To be a credible leader, you must make your life match your message. If your character is inconsistent with your communication, it underlines the reality that you are a phony. In contrast, if your character is consistent with your communication, it underlines what you have to say, and it makes everyone want to listen. As you reflect on the Law of E.F. Hutton and the story of Samuel, think about this. Number 1, leaders earn the right to be heard. Number 2, leaders should listen to God before asking others to listen to them. Number 3, the impact of the voice is determined by the influence of the leader. Number 4, the character of the leader underlines the content of the message. As you prepare to turn off the tape, take the remaining minutes to consider the one thing you can do to build your credibility with others. If you want to learn more about Samuel and the Law of E.F. Hutton, read his story in the book of 1 Samuel.